Today's video was meant to feature big clickbait titles, something like "The End of Parasite SEO. Parasite SEO is over." Last week I explained how the Reddit strategy doesn't seem to be working at the moment. I'm sure there's probably going to be a way around that, but I've not figured out what it is yet. And I've also been observing that LinkedIn has got less powerful, and it seems like the severity of that loss of power is only increasing. So these are my LinkedIn posts, and we can see ever since the update, I was getting 8,000 visitors per month in total to all my LinkedIn pages, and now that's gone down to 2,800. Bear in mind, this is Ahrefs. It takes a while for all these keywords to filter through, so the actual volume is probably going to be much lower than that. If we take a look at the whole of LinkedIn Pulse as a whole, we see a really steep drop off, as I reported last week. Of course, don't forget to subscribe so you get all these updates. I do 2 videos per day generally, so save yourself some time. I'll tell you what's going on faster than you taking time out of your day to figure it out. Now, there is some respites here, and I've always said LinkedIn is best for business and marketing topics. I've said for a long time, rather than focusing on affiliate, trying to sell pills, you're much more likely to succeed if you actually just have your own business, whether it's consulting, agency, some kind of service. And if you promote that using LinkedIn Pulse, Parasite SEO should still be a really good option for you. My Cannabis SEO LinkedIn Pulse article is still ranking really well. But otherwise, it does seem like things are looking pretty bleak. If you look at a search like best lawnmower for small garden that 2 years ago would have been full of affiliate blogs, we've now got expert reviews, bear in mind I'm searching in the UK, e-commerce, Gardener's World, which is the BBC, realhomes.com, D6, Modern Gardens. They've got DR of 45, but they are down at number 5. And then Which, Argos, and The Independent, and then YouTube. So on page 1, pretty much the only traditional affiliate blog we have is Modern Gardens. So just one result out of the 10. If we look at the classic Outlook India, the ultimate parasite site, when affiliate sites first started to struggle with Google, it seemed like Outlook India was consistently ranking for everything, which at the time, SEOs, we love to complain when our strategy no longer works, but then very quickly we adapted, knowing that actually if Parasite SEO is replacing you on page 1 of Google, then do Parasite SEO. But ever since September, we've seen a dramatic decrease in Outlook India's traffic. So from 8 million down to now 500,000. And I filter this down a bit because, again, I'm trying to work out what are the keywords that have really dropped off. So I'm comparing with the peak, which was the 2nd of September, and we'll compare that with today. And I'm sorting by percentage change. So basically, what are the pages that have dropped off the most? If you're doing this kind of analysis, then make sure to put in a minimum floor of traffic, because otherwise you'll have pages that did have 1 traffic which now have no traffic and therefore have 100% change in this column. So instead, we're only looking at statistically significant pages with at least 100 traffic, and that's how we get these really good results. So adult friend finder reviews. Very ironic considering Outlook India doesn't take adult articles, so somehow this post must have been crafted in a way that didn't upset them in any way. But we can see they used to be, back in the peak, they were number 1, not just for adult friend finder reviews, but probably briefly, Adult Friend Finder itself, the actual brand name. So this is how broken Parasite SEO was. What we are seeing is actually a correction. It's a pain now that a lot of us have figured out how to actually use it to our advantage. But let's face it, LinkedIn shouldn't be ranking for everything, and Outlook India shouldn't be ranking for everything either, especially outranking the actual brand. But we can see Adult Friend Finder reviews now right down at position 14. So with all these, we want to actually open up that result and see what's ranking there now. So we've got Chicago Reader, which to be fair is still a Parasite site. We have Reddit, which is really frustrating considering we did have a means of getting on there, but it doesn't seem to be working so well anymore. We've got SiteJabber and Quora, this is all a bit random, Trustpilot, and a few other parasites. Best adult hookup sites, supposedly they're number 1 still, but it looks like previously they did actually have hookup sites, not best adult hookup sites, but just hookup sites, which had 13,000 searches per month, and they were number 1. But again, Outlook India doesn't accept adult, so not sure how they got that on there. But we can see so many of these articles have just been annihilated. Best Bitcoin Casino, that was a great niche in the parasite world. Again, it's gone from being number 1 for Bitcoin Casino to number 16 for Best Bitcoin Casino. Let's have a look at this one. So this was updated 5 hours ago, so it should be right up to date. And to be fair, these look like pretty good high DR news/affiliate websites. Then we've got Reddit. Then we've got a couple of what I like to call ecom, basically the actual providers of a Bitcoin Casino. And we've got Quora. It feels like Quora's had a bit of a bump with the latest update, but I checked the traffic, it's not actually a significant increase. But when I was assessing the damage of this latest update on Parasite SEO, I discovered something really quite incredible. I've always said to work out exactly what's going on with SEO and what the top affiliates are doing, just go onto a marketplace like ClickBank and look at the top performing products. They're normally supplements. So one of them very popular at the moment is called Live Pure. So here we are, we're on ClickBank. I've gone to top offers and we're basically looking at average dollars per conversion and gravity. Gravity is basically how rapidly the product is selling, and trust me, these are really high. So Pure Revive, $130 per sale, smashing it on the Gravity. Sugar Defender, $136 per sale, 500 Gravity. Then we have Live Pure. So this has been top of the ranks for a long time, $160 per conversion. 283 Gravity score. So you basically pick any one of these and see how people are promoting it. So I thought, if Parasite SEO is specifically being targeted, what's going on with Live Pure? So I've opened this in Google US. Now, first of all, whoops, that was the UK version. This is Google US. First of all, we have 2 Amazon listings at the top. And as you saw, it was the same in the UK. It was .co.uk and the .com. Now here, it's .com and .com. Then we have YouTube videos. This has been something I've had my eye on for a while. Somehow, certain people are basically operating multiple channels, uploading multiple reviews of the same product every week with actual living, breathing spokespeople, and they seem to be able to rank that video on Google pretty much instantly. Then we've got the discussions and forum snippets, which again seems to be dominated by Quora. But it was then that I discovered this Microsoft CRM portals.com. So this looks like more of the sort of hacky parasite we've been seeing 6 months ago. Now, if I just take a look at this Microsoft portals and put that into Ahrefs, we've got this massive spike of traffic, literally in the wake of the update. So barely any traffic a few days ago, and it seems like in just the last few days, either it's been discovered or something's gone very wrong with Google, because we go from literally no traffic on the 19th to 1.8 million traffic 1 week later on the 26th of March. And if we go through, it's all the classic Parasite stuff. Coinmaster free spin, Brecky Hill nudes, Amaranth nude, free spins. So it's all basically gambling and porn. So, and there's a Cortexy, there's a supplement, that's number 5. Now the intriguing thing about this site is you don't seem to be able to access it without a login, which is pretty annoying, because then what's the value of the Parasite article if it's behind a paywall? So it looks like we can register. So let's just have a go. Okay, I'm signing up now. So this is Operation Smile Volunteers. So it doesn't look like it's a Microsoft forum, but simply this philanthropic organization that's actually hosting its volunteer portal on a Microsoft CRM portal. So do I really have to fill? Okay, I think I filled in all the essential fields. I'm hoping they don't actually assess me as a volunteer. I just want access to the forum. Add language, English. Submit. Okay, maybe I don't actually need to. Okay, it's still not there yet. I keep clicking submit at the bottom, but it keeps kicking me out, saying I've got more to do. But I think that's all the essential fields now. Okay, I just want to have a look at the articles and what they're doing. Are they going to kick me off as soon as they see my application's a load of nonsense? Okay, actually want to start an application. So if I now go back, can I have access to one of these articles? Access denied. Okay, how are people doing this? Anesthesia, that'll do. Oh, what a pain. But how are all these people getting on it? But I don't really understand what the game plan here is anyway, if we're just hitting that sign up paywall. Unless, of course, they've only just implemented this. Okay, I can't figure this out. But in the meantime, with Ahrefs, we should actually be able to see other sites that are hosted on the same platform using the subdomain. But this is really interesting. This forum is ranking for everything. Number 2 for Prodentim, but how have they got beyond the sign-up wall? And even if they have, then what's the benefit if all your readers then hit the sign-up wall? I think that could have been a new addition. So if we just take out that particular subdomain, we should be able to see all the subdomains that are on this forum. So that now takes us to 2.4 million. Is it just OS volunteers? Nope, we've got Study at Durham, which is also getting 100,000 traffic for Coinmaster Free Spin. So can I get on that one perhaps? Okay, it looks like that one's been deleted. So this immediately says to me there might be some students out there who have legitimate access to this forum who'll be taking a modest payment in order to post your content. Study at Durham, OS volunteers. Here's one, NHS fracture clinic, but that's actually a legitimate medical article that's ranking. So it looks like in terms of Parasite SEO abuse, it's pretty much all OS volunteers with a small amount of Study at Durham. We should be able to, if we sort by traffic value, OS volunteers, Study at Durham. Yep, that's literally it. But again, no way to see that article. So basically the point of this video is basically a message of hope that, it gets me down that as soon as you figured out one method of working things out, the game then changes and you've suddenly got to figure it out again. It feels like it's all over. So a couple of months ago, as you know, I was doing really well with LinkedIn, Reddit, and the best thing being these were all free or really cheap. Whereas 2 years ago, Parasite SEO was spending $500 to $1,000 on Outlook India. So even though most of us were cursing that we could no longer rank a simple blog, there were definitely ways around it. I probably made more money with a lot less effort than running a blog in that January-February period. But now, as we can see from this Microsoft forum just taking off, There are still opportunities. So it looks like LinkedIn has not been shut down, but quite severely reduced. And Reddit, maybe we'll figure it out again, but for the time being, I don't seem to be able to make it work anymore. That said, I've not put that much effort into figuring it out for the time being. But this forum really just demonstrates that even now, obviously the update's not finished rolling out, but there are still these opportunities that keep on cropping up. So again, you just got to be on it. Once you see the opportunity comes up, make the most of it. Unless, of course, you want a more sustainable long-term business, in which case I'd still recommend services and, of course, e-commerce products. So obviously I've got my live case study on the go for my cleaning company. That's finally starting to pick up some keywords. So very soon we'll work on, see if we can get the Google Business Profile verified. I think that could now actually be a much more viable option than constantly trying to game the latest algorithm update and basically try and find the latest pages that Google is ranking really well. Parasite SEO has always been very hit and miss. Of course, you get those lovely traffic charts, but as we've seen here, quite often the conversion doesn't. So I share it a lot because, of course, everyone loves seeing these case studies on YouTube. But the fact is, if you really want to make serious money, then you basically have to be boring, long-term and committed, and basically stick with something that has consistently worked for a long time. So I'm always recommending service businesses. E-commerce is great. All my clients are sailing through the latest update because if you're a provider of a product, then Google's not going to remove that product from page one if people want that product. As usual, I've had a few people saying, but exact match domains don't work anymore. Why are you still talking about exact match domains? Well, last night I was doing some keyword research, looked at lawyer SEO experts. If we come down here, all these really high DR sites, but then at number 3, arguably number 2, if you take out the people also are snippets, we've got a DR of 2 ranking, getting 250 visitors per month, and that's because they've got lawfirmseo.expert. Not just the expired domain, they're probably doing some other stuff as well, but a DR of 2 is ranking at number 3. So that's just one example. There are still opportunities out there. Just because Parasite SEO is in turbulence at the moment, and the rest of Google is in turbulence, there's still plenty of high-ticket businesses you can put within the top 5 of Google quite